The Toronto condo market is going down the gutter. You got articles that start with Toronto sells condo at $320,000 loss. You got other ones that have Toronto condos price just hit one of the worst months on record. And then you have GTA condo supply is approaching a number I have never seen before. There's so much doom and gloom in the Toronto condo space right now. It's almost kind of like, hey, the Toronto condo is down. Let's just pile it on and write all the bad headlines. And this is exactly what I'm gonna be breaking down. And I can tell you in this information that I'm about to share with you in this video, there's gonna be some good and there's some bad. But that doesn't mean that the entire Toronto condo market is going down the entire gutter. And you'll see shortly. But trust me, there are some that are really, really bad. So make sure to stay tuned. But if you want to know exactly where you and your condo stand right now, whether you're going to continue holding on to it or sell it, or if you're thinking about buying a condo right now and try to take advantage of some of these people who are distressed, desperate, and feel like, the world is falling, the fall market isn't quite there for them, and want to take advantage of this, you can book a call with me using a link that's on the screen. It's right here. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Simply click on a date and a time that works best for you. And then when you see the prompt, fill in your name, email, mobile phone number, and the question you have for me, and then we'll chat then. Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Prime Properties TV. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Zhen, and I run and operate a RE/MAX in the Greater Toronto Area, where we help a lot of clients buy, sell, and invest in real estate, on top of making awesome, informative real estate content just like this one for you. And we will be discussing whether the 416, the Toronto proper condo market, is actually as poo-poo as it actually is. Because you have headlines that say $320,000. That is actually true. Also, you have articles that said Toronto had the worst month ever, meaning September, because October numbers aren't out yet. Or you also have stuff like we have hit so much supply that it's a number I've never seen before. On top of those articles, I see crazy things like this where you can clearly see people advertising assignment sales event at a loss. Meaning people are like, hey, look, I know I'm gonna lose. Let me just get out of this contract. This is happening a lot right now. I've seen this twice now in the last 2 weeks. Somebody is clearly holding a sales event, and that's how bad the assignment market is. But again, that's a little bit different from the resale market. So let's kind of digest this. The first one that's caught a lot of people's attention is that GTA is currently grappling with almost 40,000 units of condos. Now, before anybody freaks out, 40,000 is a lot. We don't have 40,000 units on the MLS. This is a combination of stuff that's from builders that no one has bought in the last 18 months or so. You have people on the assignment market, which kind of could be double counted, and you have resale listings on the MLS. Now, it does say here that bulk of this, 40,000, 24 of them is unsold units in the development space, which some are being converted into rentals. 9,000 active resale condos. That is actually correct. I checked, but this is all of GTA, not just Toronto, right? And 5,000 units that are finishing construction that's being listed on assignment. So it's not quite at 40,000, but by my math, you're getting close. You're like 38, right? So that is a lot of supply. But when you kind of really break it down here, it says that it's taking 14 to 16 months to absorb this, but realistically, they're at 3.5 times the normal amount of inventory. So that's the key thing I'm gonna say, 3.5 times. In a traditional fall market, we're actually gonna see somewhere between like 3 to 3,500 active condo market that I've seen in the past before. And if we're at 9,000 on resale, meaning on MLS, we're kind of on the same boat, right? So it's not like this 40,000 is like all on MLS. So it's not that oversupplied. So that's why I was saying in the beginning of this video, I feel like the condo market is down right now and everyone's just like bam, 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 just like pounding on it. It's not as bad as some of these articles say, okay? Like I think we've gone way too far on the other spectrum of how bad the Toronto condo market is. Now, what they will say is sales are so slow right now, they can't really go any lower. The reason why I want to highlight this is they can. They very much can because a lot of poo-poo can happen. Yes, I get rates are coming down, et cetera, but there are a lot of reasons why no one's still buying pre-construction. So let's not say they can't go any lower because they can, but probability-wise, are they going to go higher and we've hit the bottom? For the freehold, I've said we have, but for the condos, I'm not too confident about that yet. It's not like as bad as what they're saying, but I don't think we've hit the bottom. It could go lower. Now, the biggest hurdle that I always see is how many units are coming for completion. And you can see that, 24,000 was complete in 2023, which was a high. And we're on track to basically hit 24,000 this year. We've already got a bulk load of them. And there's going to be more at 29,000 in 2025. Now, again, this is kind of like always a moving target because we don't know when the units do complete, right? But that is a boatload of inventory. And now we're getting close to some of the stuff that was sold like post-pandemic, where stuff was being sold like, downtown $1,500 a foot, $1,600 a foot, or like $1,200 a foot in like the 905 and like the suburbs, right? Where it makes absolutely no sense. That stuff is coming. And I'm really curious to see how it's going to go down, because we can see, these appraisals aren't coming in where the banks are just like, hey, we'll appraise it for what you bought it for as opposed to what it's actually worth. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to want to close on these. But the rates are coming down, and the cash flow negative may not be like minus $2,000. It could be minus $1,500. Maybe it's a little bit more tolerable. Who knows, right? There's all these other things coming down the pipeline. So there could be a bailout, because we have seen a bailout. So again, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Now, the note I have over here is a lot of investors have looked to offload units, which has pushed up resale inventory, which is 100% true. It's not even people who bought pre-con or trying to unload an assignment space. There's a lot of investors and a lot of them I've spoken to where they're like, hey, I own some condos. I bought this a while ago. I think I have a better use of this money. I don't think the markets will go up anytime soon. So a lot of them who have it vacant or even tenanted, they're desperate right now, are trying to sell it now and get ahead of it because we have so much inventory. And you really just need one person, like if you have a stack of like 200 bedrooms in a 400 unit tower, one person sells it for like 10% under market value because they're distressed. Boom, all the prices come back down, right? So we're going to see that chasing the market down now as inventory is high. And I think the, eternal fall hope is, dwindling down, right? This is kind of what I'm saying. Like, when you get towards here, we're like, oh, maybe, fall market's not that great, even with, so much rate cuts. Now, you also have this article here that essentially talks about, yes, condos are really bad, but they talk about this chart where the 12 months change for how, condos have fared. And you can kind of see here, this is, peak craziness where, things were up 30%. We got down to, 12% on a year-over-year basis, which was around last year in 2023 in spring. And you can see like we're back down, down 7%. Meaning if you bought a condo, call it in September 2023, it's statistically down 12% right now. Now, the main thing I kind of want to draw everyone's attention to is there's going to be a ton of charts that show you different variations, deviations, variations of like how crappy the market is. And I purposely picked some of the most negative articles for this reason. But I always point back to the one thing, and I try to give a very balanced approach. And the one thing I always look at is months of inventory. And you can see over here, this is a rolling months of inventory by week. So it's very, call it active, right? We don't have to wait for the end of the month, right? So you can see over here that the months of inventory is now coming down, right? So we got that September post-Labor Day rush and we hit 7.4 months of inventory, but nothing sold at that time. So on a weekly number coming down, you can see we're down to 5.7 now, which is saying that sales are happening faster than new listings are coming out or are remaining on the market. So do you remember at the end of September, I was saying, hey, look, there's a very important number you got to watch out for, and this is why the numbers are lagging, which is the average property days on market, which is how long it's been on the market for before it sells, which includes relisting. It is at 43 at the end of September. Remember I said, look, if it's 43, you're not going to see this inventory get absorbed until October because it takes 6 months to sell this thing. We're at 6-7 weeks into the fall market right now. And this is exactly why on top of seasonality, you can see the months of inventory falling. Now, the thing you have to watch out for is how elevated the active listings still are. And you can see over here, we were at 7,300 and we're at 7,000. So while the months of inventory is coming down, the sheer volume of active listings is still very high. So you can see we start the year at 3,000, which again is normal. Spring, we got into call it the 5,000, which is kind of normal. And then we had that huge shoot up where I was saying like I was getting way too many calls for people trying to sell condos. And you can see exactly why. We've cleared some of them out. So me telling you the silver lining of, look, the month of inventory is falling. It's heading in that right direction. I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it seem, but we still have so much glut of inventory to clear out. So I do not think prices are going to get better or higher anytime soon. We still have to clear it out. But it just means that it's not as bad as what some people are saying, like, inventory isn't building anymore. So like, we just got to absorb it. But in this time, whether it gets absorbed or not, it really depends on if these interest rates are going to move the needle and get people to absorb and buy these units faster And that's the thing that I don't think anyone has a crystal ball for right now. That's why I'm saying we need more data. We got to see where the inventory lands at the end of fall, call it like end of November, and they'll probably get a sense of where things are going to start off in the new year. And then obviously when you see whether we get another jumbo rate cut in December, that's really going to dictate how the start of 2025 is going to be. And remember, every single condo behaves differently. Do not blanket yours with someone else's or, the market with yours. Because you can see, even when I broke out the type of bedrooms in the Toronto proper one, you can see the 1 bedrooms and the 2 bedrooms are doing so much better than the bachelors and the 3 bedrooms, right? Because there's demand for end users in that category, especially for good layout units or like 2 bedrooms that are corner ones that are well priced well. They are still moving, right? So just understand that the world isn't falling if you own a condo. It's just not great, right? So this is why I want to take this time to, break down what exactly is happening with the condo space, because I think it's being blown out of proportion. Again, it really just depends on everyone's unique situation and kind of what kind of condo they're holding and whether it's a pre-construction or a resale and how long they've had it for. And that's why I say everyone's situation is very unique. And if you want to talk about yours and kind of discuss what options you have, you could do so by booking a call with me. Use the link that's on the screen right here, www.chatwithzen.com. The link is also in the description below. Until next time, your move, your future. See ya. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one or this one? You know what? Just watch them both.